Okay, so number 22 is a z-score problem. It's worded a little bit differently. It took me a while. Remember that z-score problem is the statistic minus the parameter divided by the standard deviation. So all these that have the standard deviation squared in the denominator are wrong. All right, and so let's go do this here. I set it all up. Remember, we always label the spine with the mean and standard deviation. And it says find the score x above which 33% of the scores fall, okay? So I have to find this value of x. Now remember that when we do z-score, is that we start at the left. Is that the left? It's like a number line. We go up to there. So if 33% is here, then we know that 67, oops, I don't want that, percent is here. Okay, so I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to go to inverse norm, under distributions, and I'm going to put in 0.67. Okay, I'm going to keep the mean at 0 and the standard deviation at 1. And do you see we get 0.439? So the answer is D. Okay, so number 23 is a confidence interval. We have 300 students and we have 180 hits. So 180 divided by 300 times, what was it be? 120 divided by 300. Remember our P and Q? Divided by 300. At least there's my standard deviation, okay. Now I have to do the math here. Where is my calculator? Okay, I'm going to pause this because I need to find my calculator. Okay, so remember it's the number of hits. It's P plus or minus Z star times my standard deviation of P hat. And this is that right there. So it's P hat is 300, excuse me, is 180 divided by 300. I put that into my calculator and I got 0.6. So it has to be the ones that start off at 0.6. So boom, boom. So that leaves us there. And so we get 0.6 times 0.4 because this is 0.6. And so therefore this is 0.4. And all of those guys have that. Okay, so they said 98%. Well, I know it's not this guy because that's 1.96. That's 95. So I go to my inverse norm because it is a proportion, so we're using Z. And I put in 0.01 because remember it's a two-tail. So it's going to be 0.02 divided by 2, which is 0.01. And I get 2.33, so the answer is C. Okay, so for number 24, they want us to put these in numerical order. What's important here is that we have our approximately normal distribution. Okay, now, right now I want to get back to what R is, but S, the first quartile. So remember that is 25%. So this is 25%. The third quartile would be 75%. And then T is the value of our 20th. So if I was to go in numerical order, it would be T and then S. So I don't know if R goes here, if R goes here, or if R goes here. All right, so let's go figure out R, because that one's going to take a little bit more work. Now remember, no matter what my mean and standard deviation is, that approximately 68% of my population is within one standard deviation. All right, so that's one standard deviation. Well, look at here's -1. So if 68% is here, 34% is here. So if we have 50% here, oh, yellow is not good. So 50 minus 34 is 16. So the R comes first. So that RTS. So the answer is B.